I created G-plans out of nutrition frustration. One day during nutrition studies at Duke University, we came across a revelation. We discovered that everyone has a completely unique metabolic structure and type. Eating a generic diet program will not get you the results you want, and you will continue on a path of yo-yo dieting forever. Ultimately, sustainable food programs are built within your own specific metabolic template.
I eat what Dr. G tells me to eat for my metabolic type. I don't call this program a diet because I eat more than on other programs.
Hello and welcome to our nutrition masterclass today. My name is Savannah, and today we have a great topic to discuss on some easy ways to help you prioritize more whole foods in your diet. So we may know, of course, limiting processed foods is a great thing to do to benefit your health, but today we're going to discuss a little bit more on why that's so important, and we're going to talk about some easy tips and tricks and things you can do to prioritize those whole foods and save maybe some money at the same time as well, which is important for sure. So I'm glad to see everybody tuning in here today. Tanya here, Tina, Beverly, and Lisa, Catherine, great to see you all. Please, just as a reminder, always feel free throughout our presentation today, go ahead and add any comments, questions you may have there in that chat box. And at the end of our presentation, I love to kind of take some questions, have a little conversation with you. So please do that throughout the call today. I'll also always be adding my email. So you can feel free as well. If you have something a little more personal, please feel free to send me an email and reach out that way. And at the end of our call today, I will have another special promotion we're going to go over. So that changes pretty often. We do have a new special promotion this week, so you'll want to stay tuned and check that out as well. So we're going to get started, and yeah, Jan, see you checking in too. Good to see you. We'll get started here in just a moment. All right. Okay, so some easy ways to prioritize whole foods. Here's our topics for today, what we will cover. First off, we're going to talk a little more about why specifically you should prioritize whole foods. We're going to discuss the benefits of a whole foods-based diet. We're going to discuss how your diet makes you feel and how whole foods can change that. We're going to discuss some easy changes to help you prioritize more whole foods. And then we'll also talk about some money saving tips so you can save a little money on those whole foods as well. And we'll finish off here today with my tip of the week. And lastly, our special promotion. Okay. All right, and as I said, please do feel free. You can go ahead and add any questions in the chat box here today, but if you'd like to reach out to me personally, feel free to do that. My email's there on the screen, and will also be added in the chat box for you as well. Okay, so specifically, why should you prioritize whole foods? Reducing your intake of highly processed foods is definitely one of the most effective ways to improve your health and enhance the quality of your diet. Studies have shown that 63% of the American diet consists of refined and processed food, while only 6% consist of whole foods like fruits, vegetables, nuts, and whole grains. Processed foods are typically very high in calories, they're calorie dense, and nutrient poor. They also tend to be lower in fiber and higher in fat and sugar. This is also why processed foods have been shown to actually be addictive. There are many reasons why we consume more processed foods today, with the largest being convenience. Because processed foods are packaged and typically do not require much preparation, it can be easy to grab in a rush. But today we're going to discuss how you can increase your consumption of whole foods in some easier ways. All right, so just a few benefits of a whole foods based diet. First off, it's going to help you to feel more satisfied. So with all the extra fat and sugar in processed foods, the calories can quickly add up, which can then lead to weight gain. Eating more whole foods may actually help you maintain or lose weight. The natural fiber in many vegetables, fruits, and grains can help to fill you up on lower calories. Next is whole foods are packed with nutrients. Processed foods tend to be very high in calories, but not rich in nutrients. If there are many there, they were usually added and did not come from the food item in a natural source. When you consume a variety of whole foods, you are also consuming a variety of vitamins and minerals from their natural source. Studies have actually shown that supplements really aren't the same. Our bodies don't respond the same. So sticking with those whole foods, eating a wide variety of different fruits and vegetables will ensure that you're also getting a wide variety of nutrient-dense foods in your diet. And next is when you eat more whole foods, you also avoid food additives. The nutrients lost during refinement are not the only disadvantage of eating processed foods. What's added can also be a problem. When you stick to primarily whole foods, you are steering clear of preservatives and chemicals, as well as additional salt, sugar, and fat found in more processed foods. So, this question I have for you today, we're kind of going a little bit back to our prior presentation we had on nutrition and your mood. But processed foods and whole foods in general, it's going to make a big difference in how you're feeling. We may know, of course, that processed foods are not the most healthy options for us, but have you ever paid attention to how these foods also make you feel? Serotonin helps regulate sleep and appetite, mediate your moods, and inhibit pain. About 95% of your serotonin is produced in your gastrointestinal tract, which shows, again, how connected our gut microbiome is to our mood and our overall health. Studies have linked consuming a diet that is higher in processed foods to also a higher risk for depression and anxiety. So just wanted to ask you a question today, and feel free to add in the chat box if you'd like. Do you ever notice a change in how you feel overall, your energy levels, your mood, when you're eating more processed foods versus whole foods? Let me know in the chat box. I'd love to talk with you later. All right, so here's some easy changes to help you prioritize whole foods more often. So first off is do some prepping. So planning meals and doing some food prep is absolutely essential to help you prioritize whole foods, especially if you also have a busy schedule. So we know, of course, if you don't plan those meals ahead of time, you don't plan those whole food options for snacks ahead of time, they will take a little bit more time in the moment than grabbing something that is processed. So it's essential to set aside a little bit of time, plan things out. Definitely different ways to do that as well. You can plan out your meals for the week, kind of know exactly what you need to get from the store. You can prep meals for the week so you don't have to do as much cooking. And batch cooking ingredients is a great way to do this as well. So rather than cooking a whole meal, you might prepare a few different fruits, vegetables, maybe a protein, and have those ready to go for you in different recipes or on their own throughout the week. That way, when you have that prepping done ahead of time, you can grab and go with those items as you need throughout the week. Next up is stick with whole grains. So a really easy swap to help you consume more whole foods is to simply stick to primarily whole grain choices. Opt for sources like brown rice or quinoa and whole grain pasta. Whole grain sources are more nutrient dense and also higher in fiber. And last one here is don't forget about the snacks. Snack on fruits and vegetables. Snacks can be a common time to opt for something quick and convenient, which also often ends up leading to something that is highly processed. Set yourself up for success by washing and cutting your fruits and vegetables ahead of time so that you can grab them quickly when you need a snack. It's a lot tougher, so in the moment you might find you're hungry, you need to grab something really quickly, and if you don't have those things, fruits and vegetables already prepared and ready to go, it's going to seem a little quicker to grab something else that's packaged. So go ahead and have that ready to go. You can also take advantage, of course, as well. If you don't want to do that on your own, look at the grocery store, and they definitely offer some prepared, pre-cut options for your fruits and vegetables there as well. So a few money-saving tips. So I know processed foods are pricey. Whole foods, depending on the time of year as well, can be pretty pricey too. So these tips can help you to save a little bit of money. First off, definitely consider frozen or canned options. Opting for frozen or canned produce is a great way to reduce food costs and waste as well. In addition, frozen produce is frozen when it's at its peak ripeness and also richest in nutrients at that time as well. When choosing canned items specifically, make sure to stick to options that are in water rather than in syrup and generally avoid additives like salt and sugar. So yeah, frozen is a great choice, and a lot of the times it's going to be fresher than what you might find that's fresh in the produce counter as well. With that being said, stick to in-season produce. Purchasing those fruits and vegetables that are in season can help to keep the price down and ensure that the produce that you consume is at its highest quality. So take advantage of sales if certain produce is in season at the time, if there's a special going on. Buy in bulk when, again, it's also at its freshest time. And go ahead and freeze that on your own. And last up is purchase locally. So sometimes purchasing locally at a farmer's market or a CSA program can help save some money. And again, also helps to ensure that you're purchasing produce at its freshest. Of course, also does a great job to help support your local farmers in the area. So definitely check out what you have around you and see if you might end up saving some money that way as well. All right, so we've made it to my tip of the week. This is a huge one. It sounds so simple, but can help so much. Regulate your circadian rhythm using sunlight. So first off, go outside in the morning. We might not think about this as much, especially with so many of us. We work in an office, we may work at home and stay inside a lot of the times. A really easy way to help regulate your circadian rhythm and improve your sleep quality is to focus on getting sunlight right after you wake up each morning. This actually helps your body to know when to increase melatonin production, helping you to get to sleep a bit easier. So with all the artificial light that we have nowadays, our bodies can get a little bit confused, a little bit thrown off of our natural rhythm. So stepping out into that sunlight first thing in the morning, getting that sunlight in your eyes actually helps to regulate that melatonin cycle so that you produce that later in the evening. With that being said as well, try to avoid artificial light in the evenings. In the same way that natural light in the morning helps our body to regulate our sleep cycle, artificial light later in the evening can cause us to stay awake longer and struggle with getting to sleep. Limit your evening exposure to artificial light as best you can, and definitely consider downloading a blue light blocker on your computer or your phone. So lots of apps on your phone you can download there, and a great software you can download on your computer there is f.lux. You can do a Google search for that, and that will you can download it on your computer, and it will adjust the brightness, change the color tone of brightness on your computer. Woo. But yeah, great program, good things to check out there. All right, and so last thing here, we have a special promotion today. This is a new one, so definitely you're going to want to check this out today. Again, this will be in your email sent to you after this call. We're going to have a great deal for 50% off our ProBiomax, which is our probiotic supplement. And as I discussed earlier today, a really important part of keeping your gut healthy and feeling great overall is not only sticking to whole foods, but also really prioritizing the health of your gut microbiome. So sticking to those whole foods and maybe adding a probiotic supplement on top of that is an excellent way to do that. So I would definitely recommend check out that email today, look at that probiotic supplement. So that would be a great addition to your routine with a wide variety of fruits and vegetables as well. All right, and that does bring me to the end of our presentation today. So if you have any last questions, anything else you'd like to add to the chat box, go ahead and do that at this time. All right. Oh, there we go. All right. Okay. All right, Lisa, yeah, sorry for some issues with the email there. You may need to type that in rather than clicking on it. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, you'll see, again, you can scroll up there. My email's there in the chat box. All right, Beverly, I'm glad this was helpful today. Yeah. Tina says, Tina, you deal with a little bit of stress eating. I'm sorry. Sounds like you have a stressful job. I would definitely encourage, with that being said, with your job being stressful, it might be difficult at times to eat consistently, but ensuring that you are eating very regularly, you're not skipping meals, that will help tremendously. In those times, you may notice you're triggered to stress eat as well. So focus as best you can on trying to eat as consistently as possible without skipping meals. Generally, a good goal to shoot for is to have your first meal within about an hour of waking up, and each next meal or snack about 3 to 4 hours after that. All right. Beverly says, I'm in snow country, not a lot of snow in the wintertime. That can be a huge issue for sure as well. I would say I made a presentation a little while back on how to beat the winter blues. That would be a great one for you to look into. Also, Beverly, one great tool to use, of course, is a light lamp. So something that can mimic that sunlight in the morning as an option as well. All right. Okay. All right. Yeah, it looks like about all the questions we have here today. I hope this was a really helpful topic. Again, it is so important to really prioritize those whole foods. Cindy said, actually, is cheese considered processed? That's a good question. Depends. Certain cheeses and certain types of cheese, like for example, shredded cheese is more processed than a block of cheese. However, the reason why you won't see cheese on our plans at G plans is less to do with the processed. It's more to do with the fact that dairy is often inflammatory, and many people have sensitivities to it. So that's the reason why you won't see it included on our plans. Catherine says, I have a hard time eating more than one meal a day. Any tips? Great question, Catherine. So you might find if you've been eating one meal a day for a little while, you might find it very challenging to start to eat more. I would say focus on very, very small portions. Spread those out consistently throughout the day. And again, if you notice, if you're starting to feel really full with one of those meals or snacks, cut the portion down even smaller, but stay consistent with those meal times. Usually what you'll find is after a couple weeks of that consistency, you'll start to get those hunger cues. You'll be hungry at those regular intervals. So that's a really good sign. So just focus on keeping those portions smaller and staying consistent. All right. All right, and Jan had a good question too. Is there a recommended time to stop eating for the day? So that's not truly as important. Again, you want to have that first meal within about an hour of waking, each next meal or snack about 3 to 4 hours between. So whenever that last meal or snack falls, that's totally okay. The reason why you might hear a lot, of course, you don't want to eat so late in the evenings is generally just because we also tend to maybe do a little more mindless eating, snacking, while we might be watching TV in the evenings. So as long as you're sticking to your plan, you're sticking to the right foods that way, no worry with eating when that last meal or snack is. Mm-hmm. All right, really good questions. And that is all the time we have for today. Do feel free, like I mentioned, if you have anything else, definitely feel free to send me an email, and definitely check out that great deal we have for 50% off our probiotic supplement today. I hope I'll see you next week. So next Wednesday, we'll have another nutrition masterclass. And this next week, we're going to talk about how to get back on track with your goals. So if you have fallen off, what do you do? How do you get back on track? How do you make that a little easier? So we're going to discuss that next week, and I hope you'll tune in with me then. Have a great rest of your day.